What's up, guys? Neil Orfield here, taking a look at Stokastic's MLB DFS lineup generator for tonight's slate. While you're coming in, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification button so you can get alerts when our shows go live. If you have not yet signed up for the lineup generator, you can still get it for 50% off your first week using the link that is in my tweet, or if you are on YouTube, in the description of this video. You're going to get it for just $4.48 for your first week if you use that link. After that, it's still going to be just $8.95. Great deal for a product that is only going to give you long-term profitable lineups. Every single lineup in the lineup generator has been put through the stochastic sims. These are lineups that have been found to be plus EV long-term in those sims. I'm going to start here by looking at some DraftKings lineups. I'm going to do all stack types, all lineup types. Not going to lock anybody in. All right, first lineup we see here is a 5-man Washington stack with 3 one-offs in TJ Friedel, Will Brennan, and Will Smith, Yu Darvish, and John Gray as the pitchers. First, let's take a look in the top pitchers tool at Darvish and John Gray. Darvish top of the board with a 30% chance of being a top 2 pitcher. John Gray down 6th overall in terms of top 2 pitcher odds, with some nice leverage on John Gray at 6% ownership, 13% chance of being a top 2 pitcher. Looks good. Darvish going pretty high owned, 46% ownership against Pittsburgh, but still top of the board in terms of top 2 pitcher odds. And then we had Washington as the only stack there. They are top of the board in terms of top stack odds, with a 10% chance of being the top stack at 10% ownership, 14% chance of being the top point per dollar stack as well. So Washington looking pretty good today, facing Colorado at home. All right, now I'm going to save this lineup, take a look at one more, and then we'll see what kind of exposures we get after looking at 20 full lineups. Second lineup, we've got Darvish and Luis Castillo as the pitchers. Top 2 on the board in terms of top 2 pitcher odds, 25% chance for Luis Castillo to be a top 2 pitcher. And then the stacks, we have a 5-man Brewers stack. Looks like this one does not have, I guess it has a 2-man Washington secondary stack. All right, so the Brewers in the top stacks tool are middle of the pack here in terms of top stack odds. 7% chance of being the top stack at 6% ownership. A little bit of positive leverage on the Brewers, not a ton, but looks like a good lineup overall. Kind of middling in terms of how chalky it is. Projects well, as you'd expect. Every lineup you're going to get in this tool is going to be towards the top in terms of projection. And really, we've got kind of low-owned bats across the board. Not a single bat. I guess we have William Contreras, the only bat that is reaching double digits. Every other bat in this lineup is single digits. And then we have, the chalkier pitchers, but offset by those low-owned bats. All right, I'm going to go through and just save 20 lineups and see what kind of exposures we get. All right, so through 20 lineups, we have 65% Darvish, our most exposed player, and then kind of a big drop off to CJ Abrams and Kenta Maeda, each have 45% ownership. Looks like we're fairly spread out today, so we don't have any crazy exposure to anybody. I'd probably okay with just using these 20 lineups, 65% Darvish, maybe a little bit high, but more willing to eat that chalk at pitcher. So ultimately, I think I'm okay with the way these lineups turned out. Look, we had 55% Washington, so maybe I'd go back and get rid of some of those Washington stacks, try to get to some other stacks, because that is a little bit much for me for a team like Washington in particular. Everything else looked good. So maybe I would go back and delete a couple of these Washington stacks and try to find some secondary stacks here. But in general, I'd say I'm pretty happy with this 20 lineup set. All right, now I'm going to take a look at FanDuel as well. Again, all stack types, all lineup types, not locking anybody in. First lineup we see here is a 4-2-2 Diamondbacks, Cardinals, and Guardians stack with Yu Darvish as the pitcher. We've got a decent amount of ownership going to the bats, but then we have Alec Thomas at just 1.5% ownership, and we have Wilson Contreras at just 6.5%. So a couple low-owned bats in there to offset an otherwise fairly chalky lineup. Looking in the top pitches tool on FanDuel at Yu Darvish, 12% chance of being the top pitcher. He is top of the board in terms of top pitcher odds. And then we had on FanDuel the bats. What were the three? We had the Cardinals, the Diamondbacks were the primary, and the Guardians. All right, so first, the Diamondbacks are primary stack, second on the board in terms of top stack odds, 9% chance. We had the Cardinals with an 8% chance of being the top stack, and the Guardians with an 8% chance as well. So 3 of the better stacks on the board here, and also the top pitcher. So looks like a good lineup overall. On the chalkier end of things, but still, not so chalky that I wouldn't want to use this lineup. Looks like a good lineup overall. All right, I'm going to save that one. Second lineup we see here is a 4-man Washington stack with a 3-man secondary stack from the Cards. Washington, in terms of they're top overall in terms of top stack odds on FanDuel as well, with a 10% chance. We have Yu Darvish as the pitcher once again. All right, I'm going to just go through and save 20 lineups and see what we get. All right, through 20 lineups, we have 55% Jake McCarthy, 50% CJ Abrams, 40% Corbin Carroll. So once again, fairly spread out with our lineups. We have a lot of Arizona stacks here, but that includes both primary and secondary stacks. It's any team that has, I believe, at least a minimum of 3 hitters. So I guess it's only a secondary stack if they do have at least 3 hitters. I think I'd be okay with this exposure. Again, if you wanted to spread out a little bit more, you could go back, get rid of some of these Diamondbacks lineups, but really that's not too crazy high of ownership on the Diamondbacks. I think I would be okay with just using this 20 lineup set. All right, that is going to do it for this video. Again, if you haven't done so, please do like the video or my tweet if you're on Twitter. Really would appreciate it. Good luck tonight, guys.